also try to make it constant. If you know what is really meant by connectedness, what is actually love, then this connection won't go. When it becomes a part of your life, a part of your being, where it goes, if that connection is so fragile, you need not feel sorry for that. Let it go. Let us aspire for a strong connection, which even if you try to disconnect yourself, you cannot. That is real connection. It's not that we feel sorry that we are disconnected or connected. Even if you try to disconnect, it's not be possible for you. That is real love. That is real connection. Otherwise, what happens is that shows the fragility of our mind being so much influenced by the environment. And we think that we are feeling. In fact, you are not feeling, you are just simply dancing according to the tunes of the environment. In Ram, if you come to Tirunamale, oh, Ramasham, Arunachala, this, where am I? And when we go to Shirdi, oh, Tata, devotion, beautiful. And when you go to some other place, oh, that is. And when you go, finally, when you go to the West, totally gone. And so, so it is that our susceptibility to be so easily influenced with the environment. And actually, the real spiritual strength lies in able to resist the influences from them. First, you should be able to free from the environmental influences. And when you gain it, slowly what happens is you start influencing the environment. You should end up with that. As long as what I told you, that Baba is the concrete expression of your abstract sense of fulfillment. You are already connected to it. You can't free from it. You are craving to concretize your abstract sense of fulfillment. And when Baba is your concrete, there is no question of your being, even if you try, you can't disconnect. If he is not, you are not connected at all. So there is no question of disconnected.
But does that connection connect spontaneously, or does it grow? So it's spontaneous from the beginning.
To our side, it is spontaneous. From his side, it may be his side. But let us not bother about him. From our side, it is spontaneous. You can't resist it. It's not your effort. You don't try to connect it. You feel the connection. The connection should be strong. How the connection should be? It should be the concrete expression of your abstract sense of fulfillment. For that abstract, you have already been connected all through the life. But you are not able to, you are groping for a thread which will really connect yourself. And when you come across a form like Sai Baba, then you catch hold of the thread. Then you feel, yes, I am now connected. So that is actually immediate, so instantaneous, so spontaneous. But it takes time for us to accept it.
And doubt? Doubt is the ego?
It's also one of the symptoms, one of the acts of the ego. What is not ego? In fact, be clear about your own doubt. Let it not be, when it is just a byproduct of the fragile ego, is when doubt becomes a kind of a disease. Simply the doubt comes, and you do not know what actually the doubt is and how it will be clear. If you are so sure about a doubt, what is your doubt? So this is my doubt. How it will be clear? By this answer, or by this experience, or by the situation? Come on, be clear. And once the situation comes, you should be able, the doubt should go. But usually with people, it won't go. It persists. It's a kind of a weakness. In fact, it is not actually doubt. It is our incapacity to accept, to give in to something truth and something magnanimous. That is our resistance. It takes the form at the intellectual level, it's a doubt. But it is not a product of the intellect.
And what's the cure for this disease?
Creates a perception. Just one thing that you should remember is even if the doubt is there, nothing happens. Actually, they tend to disturb other people only. They won't disturb themselves and they don't disturb the Sadguru at all. Come on, if there is, the doubt is really on an intellectual plane. Come on, speak out what is the doubt and how it will be cleared.
There's the doubt that the longing will never be fulfilled.
We call it a doubt.
Yes, it's a fear that it will never be fulfilled and I'll just be left with this
It is
longing.
different and doubt is different. So doubt and fear is your language. Do you think the both are same? Okay, I will accept your jargon. Come on, why it is doubtful?
Because I don't know what I can do to fulfill it, and I have no guarantees from you.
So you know it is not a doubt. If I give a guarantee, then there is a question of any doubt. Whether that you will fulfill the guarantee. If I give the guarantee, will the doubt go? Come on, okay. Okay, now I give the guarantee. Will the doubt go? So there is no end to it. So you start doubting the guarantee itself. Okay, if the guarantee is fulfilled because you do not know what experience that you are going to get it. Once that experience is given, you doubt the experience itself. Is that thing experience that I have been thinking of? Maybe actually this is what, but now it is not the thing. There must be some.
But how do you distinguish between a hallucination and knowing that something is not just an invention of the mind? That, you invent something, like one invents a connection and then it's not there. And invents also feelings. And one feels like what she said now, it's very connected and all of a sudden not more connected. So was that connection before a kind of hallucination? Or what was it?
If that is hallucination, then the disconnection is also hallucination. When you say only connection and hallucination,
Yeah, okay, the whole thing.
and you know, now you are talking with me.
Yeah,
Is it a hallucination or reality?
reality, yeah.
Like, how do you know? If you are really in hallucination, then you don't know that. So we should respect people's experience. When she says she is connected, yes, she is connected. When she feels she is disconnected, I have to accept it as a reality. She is telling her experience. It can be stronger or it can be fragile, it can be weak, it can be temporary, it's a permanent, there is a different matter. But she felt connection, that is a true. She felt disconnection, that is also a true. Because she was telling her experience.
Yeah.
If you start doubting an experience, as hallucination, there is no end to it. So everything becomes hallucination.
So can we go back to this disease of doubt and the fear of being unfulfilled? So again, I say the doubt comes from not knowing what I can do to fulfill, not having any guarantees from you, from anywhere, from anything. And so how to relieve the doubt, because there is no guarantee, but how to relieve the doubt.
Only by really getting what you have been seeking for, then only the doubt will. Till then the doubt remains. No question of the doubt completely being removed. It is experienced at different stages. That is subtle, that is grasp, that is so explicit, pronounced, so disturbing, whatever it is. But the doubt remains unless we get it. Till you get it, continue. And it is not an obstacle. You need not worry about it. Have I at any time told anybody that we should not have any doubt and we should have only trust? No, I don't believe in that. So simply don't bother about it, this doubt. This is an expression of so many things, so many emotions inside. It is experienced as doubt, but it is not really a doubt. It's a kind of an insecurity. And for that, you need a security. And as now when you are in Shirdi or when you are directly in my presence, you feel more secure. So the doubt doesn't come. And when you are away from me, you feel more insecure. And that insecurity is experienced as doubt. You have to experience the love. Once the love is there, the trust is there. That is the only way. Trust is only one of the characteristics of love. Not that because of trust that you get love. Usually that you have the concept. Once that we have the trust, the love springs. It's not true. Once the love is there, then the trust springs. Otherwise, there is no end to that, that kind of a chain. Somebody goes and asks the master that I want an experience. He says that you should have trust, faith, and belief. Unless that the experience is given, how can he get the trust? So give me the experience, I will trust you. That man says. No, if you have the trust, I will give the experience.
What arises for me is if all of my security, finally I find all of my security in you. Fear arises of complete dependence, and I get very nervous of this complete dependence.
That is because the lack of love. When the love starts clinging and get strengthening more, you enjoy dependence. It's not, it ceases to be dependence in fact.
What does it become if it ceases to be dependent?
It starts expressing like an expression of your love. Because you do not have any likes and dislikes. Because you love the object so much that likes and dislikes become your love. Now you are afraid that you lose your independence and start becoming dependent. Are you really independent?
No, of course not.
So there is nothing that you lose. We think that we take decisions and we are afraid that our decision making may be lost. But are you really independent? Whenever that you feel like going anywhere, simply you are going. You are dependent on the reservation position in the train, the climate in Tiruvannamalai or in Shirdi, the accommodation position in Tiruvannamalai, the health of certain people, the health of certain people in Canada or in States. Are you really independent? Are you able to do whatever that you like? What happens is you will be thinking of taking a decision, whether to do this or whether to do that, whether to do this or do that, and just experiencing and thinking in the house of a dilemma. And then at one moment that you have to take some decision and you take it. And thinks that is your decision. Usually people are forced to take a decision. Unless they are forced to take a decision, they don't take a decision. Because they are not sure whether it is right or wrong. We can't decide what to eat when you go to a hotel from a menu. You have to sit half an hour. And when you experience that the bearer is becoming so impatient, unbearable, then you say, okay, this. Then he says, that is not available. Then what is this? What decision you have taken? So it's a myth that we are really independent and we take decisions. And by loving a person, that we lose our decision making, we lose our individuality, and we lose our dependence. You don't have all these things. There is no question of losing. When that love really springs up, you start experiencing it. You like that losing of dependence. For instance, a boy and girl is there, that they love each other. And then the boy likes that her girlfriend should be dressed in white. He likes white. Even if he doesn't say that the girl should be dressed in white, the girl automatically she puts a white dress, a white ribbon, a white staff, a white shoe, always trying to be appearing in white. And if he likes rose, rose, red, red. What happens to her likes? Why she doesn't have any likes? First it starts like that. Afterwards the love diminishes, and then the whole problem starts. Why should I wear red? You have your own likes, I have my own likes. My likes are different. And then finish. Even with the small, these kinds of mundane expressions of love, it is like that. Means how it would be when that love is towards your concrete object of your abstract sense of fulfillment. And in fact, all your likes and dislikes are different manifestations to concretize that abstract. All your tendency to decision making, likes, dislikes, and all these things, they are various expressions of your effort to concretize that abstract sense of fulfillment, isn't it? What are likes and what we dislike? Well, what we like is we think that by fulfilling that, by getting that our abstract sense of fulfillment is concretized. So when you find an object which actually concretizes the whole of it, that's the question of your own likes and dislikes and losing anything. It spontaneously happens. There's no question of any fear. While being dependent, you are really connected. While being independent, you are tending to be disconnected. So you are craving your effort to get the so-called false independence. You are trying to disconnect yourself. And you put it in the different names of doubt, not able to stay with something, and all these things. But it is not the real reasons. The real reason is you. But what is trying to be independent means? To be disconnected. Not able to live like an organ, like a limb, like a branch. You want to be an independent tree itself. Even not a tree, a sapling. But it should be independent. Just think how false. So there is so-called independence. A child, a small child, who is really dependent on the mother, if at any time regrets being dependent on the mother, or the mother feels that, oh, the child is dependent on me, I can't bear it. And the child really suffers from the sense of insecurity. Her need of security is so much that she doesn't even try not to express it. If the mother goes away, she cries and shouts at the top of the voice, oh, mother, mommy. And it is so concrete, so expressive, so explicit. And she finds the security. And she is happy when she is dependent. You say that you are like a child. If it is true, you should be happy about your dependence. That childlike dependence That childlike dependence, not childish dependence, childlike dependence. What you want, what many people think that everybody has an experience and all their experiences are temporary. It comes and goes. And they are always trying to catch hold of an experience which doesn't come and go, where there is no coming and going. A state which should be a fulfilled state and it should be permanent. If you are perpetually doomed into hell, you don't like it, even though it is perpetual, it is permanent, it is endless. So what you want is the quality of your existence. How you want to live permanently. What is actually not permanent is not the existence, the quality of the existence, the condition of your existence. What you want to change is the conditions, not the existence part of it. You already exist, whether this way or that way, but you want to live in this way. There many people are missing the real point, the real crux of the problem. They simply say about the basic existence, the I, the Atma, that is already there. And so the confusion that you are already there, you are already permanent, you are already complete, you are already this, you are already that. If you are already that, why the problem?
Yeah, because one
I
doesn't.
exist, but I am not existing in a fulfilled way. So what we are actually seeking for is not something permanent or the basic existence. Something added to that which you are lacking is fulfillment. A fulfilled state. Fulfillment we are getting now and then, but it is not permanent. So that's the experience of fulfillment. Whether it is abstract, whether it is only fringes of it, it should not go. It should stay. It should be completely concretized. Why it is going? Because it is abstract. So this is not our craving for a simple permanency. It is something qualitative. We qualify it. How the permanency should be in a fulfilled state. If that is not there, you don't want permanency. So what is actually crucial? The fulfillment, not the permanency. So I stress the fulfillment. If you don't get the fulfillment permanently, okay, let it be temporarily. Let me get it.
Guruji, if the fulfillment is based on, for example, a form that eventually will pass, won't my fulfillment end when that form passes if I haven't in some way been able to take my abstract idea of fulfillment internalized as my own self? Won't at some point when if I have put all of my abstract idea of fulfillment in a concrete form, that form passes, my fulfillment will disappear unless I have been able to imbibe or bring in to myself that back
Then
to
that
myself.
quality which is missing, yourself is now missing that quality of experiencing of fulfillment. And then when it is really concretized, then it will have that quality also. You start experiencing that quality also. Every time that you experience fulfillment, you experience it in yourself only, not outside in the form. The form triggers something here, an experience here. Not that you get experience the fulfillment there and later you end up with here.
But if it's being triggered from the outside and it's happening here, when that trigger on the outside is
Then
over.
you don't need triggering. Then afterwards you don't need triggering.
Okay.
Because now you need some triggering that you need more and more. Once that you don't need any triggering, more and more that you become so familiarized, you become so concretized, then you don't need it. But what my point is, just because that it's not permanent, because something permanent is going to be there, by giving up this even the fringes and glimpses of this fulfillment, will you get something permanent? Let us have these temporary glimpses of fulfillment, and through that, let me familiarize that, make it permanent more. Why do you reject this? Is it quite reasonable at all? How? By simply rejecting this, will you get it? A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. Still. I'm not saying don't get the two. Get the two also. But you need not give up this. At least it will give you an idea how to catch hold of a bird and how a bird is. Then that will tend to make you more and more concretized. Everybody is there. Everybody needs something. They are in need of something. They've experienced that they lack something. What they are lacking? But we think that we know. And in order to check whether is it that I'm lacking, we try in different ways to get pleasures and fulfillment, happiness, and this and that. And we go on checking, and our whole life is that checking. Whether this, whether that. In order to just to concretize, that is what I mean by concretize, to realize what is that actually lacking. And what will fill that part of which lacks. And research goes and goes. And when you find something, it differs from person to person. In spite of any of these things, that whether you get it concretely or not, you get a sense of fulfillment. When you just sit in front of the statue of Sai Baba, you get fulfillment. Why? What is actually happening there? Is he giving you a sweet? Or is he so handsome and beautiful? What actually that is done through the senses there? What you are experiencing there? You forget about that lack, that experience of lack. You forget. That sense of frustration is removed from the mind. You get a sense of security, and an experience and an expression of love springs in. It may be temporary, doesn't matter, but we experience it. Without the necessity of any of these things, something triggers that sense of security and fulfillment. When that is triggered, then it is one of the concrete and outward expression of your abstract sense of fulfillment. By trying to catch hold of it, it may accelerate the process of the concretization of your own abstract sense. Why it is abstract? Because you do not know. You simply say, yes, what I want, what I like is mukti. I want liberation. I want nirvana. I want Satchidananda. Do you know what it is? Have you ever experienced it? Even if you experience it, do you recognize it? Because we do not know that it is such a strange kind of thing. You are just simply told by somebody. I lack something. I know what you are lacking. You are lacking mukti. Oh, I am not happy. Because you are unhappy, because you have realized yourself. Oh, I am full of misery. Because you do not know that you are always an embodiment of happiness. You are already full. You are already complete. You do not know that. Is it anything meaningful to you? Yes, we accept it at the intellectual level, and then we go on with it. If we don't get a good accommodation, we suffer. Even though that we know that this is all one thing, but that what we need is something else. So where it is practical at an experiential level, that sense of fulfillment is triggered, that may be one of the sure ways that through that window that we can have a glimpse of making your abstract sense of fulfillment more and more concrete. It's not that you are going to get it anyway. You have got it there itself. What you got when somebody sits in front of Sai Baba, that something flows, the love flows. They're very happy, jubilant. They forget about all their worries, their problems. What is happening? They forget about their own health, or ill health, and a sense of security. We don't mind, everything will be taken care of. What gave you that joy? Is it coming through the senses? So why don't you recognize it as something that which is coming beyond the sense and experiencing it spontaneously? Right. Hold on to it. By holding on to it, the strangeness goes and you get more and more familiar with it. And then it is perfect. Unless that you find something, a Sadguru that who can trigger that sense in you, there is no use of any other practice or any other shastra or any other exploration. It is not in our hands that we have to go somewhere and then make it trigger yourself. It is not possible. It has to be triggered, that's all. When that is triggered, even if you want to resist also, you can't. Oh, I want where my jnana, Advaita, and all these things. But when it comes to something, even if it is not Advaita, when it is not so-called jnana, when it is not so-called self-inquiry, you can't help it. It is triggered there, whether you like it or not. that is the real trigger. Otherwise, you trigger yourself. You have read something which is a jnana, and somebody told you that Ramana Maharshi is a jnani, he taught jnana yoga, and those you come there and then you trigger yourself. What you are doing is you are triggered by your own concept of Ramana. So when it actually happens, you can't. When you realize that it is your not, it's not your choice. When something happens beyond your choice, even if you choose otherwise, when you can't help it, then that is a real trigger. And that is the beginning of the real concretization. Making it more clear, as clear that you don't have any doubt about it, you experience it. No certain abstractness in it. So real, realizing it, putting more light on it, enlightenment. What is actual enlightenment? Something is abstract, in dark, throwing light on it and making it more concrete. Something that you can't really realize, something that you can't catch hold of, knowing it really, really real. That is realization. There are different words which connote the same thing. What is our actual problem is that we lack something, we lack some kind of fulfillment. We want to live a fulfilled life. Whether it means realization or enlightenment, or that it gives a knowledge of your own self. If I ask somebody that you want the knowledge of the self or fulfillment, I want fulfillment. Why I am asking for knowledge of the self is because somebody has told me that by this knowledge you will get fulfillment. Knowledge is not my end. So let us start clearly from what actually we want. For that, you don't need any books, you don't need any, it is all your experience. I need not tell you that you lack something, you experience it. But what I am saying, you don't have any beliefs, any belief structure is needed.
No belief structure.
No belief structure. What is that? What I have told you, any belief? Do you believe that you need something? We know, we experience that we need something. It's not a belief. We know it. And when that love is triggered, that is also your experience. then you know it. It's not a belief. That may trigger us. You know that. If it is not triggered, don't believe. I am also saying that. Simply don't base on belief.
What about Shraddha?
When you have this, when you know this, that craving is there, then the Shraddha automatically comes. Shraddha is not something that you practice. If that love is triggered, how much that is triggered, that much Shraddha will automatically be there. Because of all that you have such a love towards me, you listen to me, Shraddha. Have I asked you to practice Shraddha? Or are you thinking that you have to listen carefully? If you like something, that care will automatically come. You do it carefully. Because we love money, we keep it so carefully. We go to the ashram and give it to the office. We don't forget the passport, the visa, and other things. Why the Shraddha is coming? Where from? Because of the liking, because of the value that we attach to it. So the moment that is there, when the love is there, the Shraddha will automatically come. Not that by Shraddha love will come. It is a byproduct. It is a characteristic of it. Am I clear?
Guruji, earlier you spoke of grace. You said that the doubts would be removed by grace. Could you speak about grace?
When you are trying to concretize something, a sense of fulfillment, when all your efforts fail, when something is given to you, it's not connected to your efforts, which is not your earning, which is given with love, not as a charity. Because there the sense of humiliation is there. But here, an experience. You tried and tried and tried, but something is there.
Given by the Satguru?
Whoever who gives it uses it.
At this stage, then, what is one to do if there is nothing to do?
I never said that there is nothing to do. I only said that what you do will not know.
What do you do?
What you are doing will not possibly do. Not enough. It is something more. And we can, as long as that we like to do something, do. Whether it is a spiritual effort or a material effort. But I don't differentiate between the two. Even those that who are striving after a job or a profession, earning money, striving for the fulfillment of the family, they are also sadhakas. They are also spiritual people. Because what they are trying to get, concretize their own abstract state of fulfillment. They are clear about it, what they want. They are not just dumped their mind with the concepts that I want Brahma. I want this, even though we do not know anything. At least they know what they are doing. They are clear. Let them do them. And Baba helps them. Why do you think that only one who come and lives in ashrams and then thinking of Mahavakyas or self-inquiries, they are the only sadhakas? To me, they are the real sadhakas.
So does that mean
The majority of the world, they are really seeking.
I should go out and try to make money then with your blessing?
If you want. If that is your abstract, that is the concrete form of your abstract sense of fulfillment, do it immediately. If you really enjoy earning money. Not that one has to go and earn money. If your mind is there, do it. your mind is not there, then you are not exploring in that way. It's not a problem. But as long as it is there, if I ask you to stop it, oh, money is all Maya. It doesn't, this dry philosophy, it doesn't mean anything. Everybody needs to tell you what you need and what you want. So, if you feel that you want money, come on, try to explore and experience getting the money. Then that will be. That way, Baba wants to show. That is what he said. I'll be going on giving whatever my devotees ask me, till they ask me what I want to give them. But what he wanted to give them, we never told.
And what is that?
Do not know. Ask Baba. That is abstract. If you are really interested in knowing that what Baba wanted to give, explore. Trying to concretize that abstract of what Baba wanted to give you. Again, it's a good search. Come on. Don't mistake that I am simply supporting and I'm encouraging more and more desires. I'm only saying that when you have it already, and when you are not able to free yourself from that, fulfilling them is the only solution. If you are ill, the use of simply telling me that it is only a body, the illness is only to the body, not to the Atma. Why do you worry? Means you will stop worrying. The only thing now you need is health, that's all. Then what happened to all this Atma, Paramatma, the Atma Buddhi and all these things? This is where that we stand and ask and seek from where you stand, not on the false stance, on the real stance. And when you start from a real stand, that will lead you to reality. Otherwise, you will be more and more falsified. Because we want many other things in order to make them fulfill. What we need is power. That power is not simple power. It should be coupled with knowledge. It's not enough. It is simply coupled with knowledge. It should be given with love. When all these three are together, that we will experience. What we expect from the object of our beloved is this three. Somebody may be a multimillionaire. He doesn't give part with 1 rupee. What is the use? Even if he is not a multimillionaire, he has going only 100 rupees and he can give you 50 rupees. You will do that. You want to say?
Exactly what do you mean by power? When you're speaking about power, what do you mean by
For instance, somebody wants money, somebody wants a promotion, somebody wants health. What can give you that? You go to Sai Baba, wait, I want help, and it is given. How it is given? By giving a discourse on Vedanta?
But you said that was grace. You were saying that grace and power are the same. By grace has come.
Almost the same. What you experience is what is grace. How you experience it is grace. But what gives is power. But the two sides of the coin. That which makes grace graceful is It is very simple. It's not simple power that we need. Power, how it is given to them? If it's only a power, then it's not just like the Baba is a monarch. It's very powerful. Then that fears us. But that power is that which helps you, which places you, which gives you everything you need with the love. If that is not there, even if he wants to give, even if he has the knowledge, and if he loves you so much that you have to become healthy, you can't help it. So we want all these things. Not that one is greater or one is less important or more important. All these things together will become a perfect symbol. Okay?
Guruji,
Huh?
Baba, is that for you? What was Pundi Swami for you?
Another expression of Baba's grace.
He was an expression of Baba's grace.
Is this grace always available, and it's just a matter of our ability to ask and receive?
So we have ability. Even if it is something is available, if you don't need it, it doesn't matter. When you need something and it is given, then it becomes grace. When you don't need something and something is given, means it becomes a curse.
So as the love grows, does simultaneously the knowledge come and the power for fulfillment? How are they all connected?
They are not in fact connected. They are one. They are different aspects. And when we experience it, we experience all these three in different ways. If you take an ice cream, it is sweet, it is cool, and it is hard, and when you chew it, it becomes less. Whether it is sweet or cool, how they are connected? When the power is not there, what happens is, what usually the conclusions of this dry Vedanta is, so thing is Maya. Don't ask me about all these things, because these are all ephemeral, transient, mundane, trivial, insignificant, pertaining to the realm of Maya. So ask me something which is really permanent. I will give you. First, free yourself from all these mundane entanglements. Then come to me. Then I will give you realization. I can be able to free myself with all these things. What is the use? That is what happened. That I usually give the what happened with Ramana, what Ramana spoke about. One day a lady came to Bhagavan. It's very significant what what Bhagavan said. She came and she sat in his presence. Said that Bhagavan, I don't need anything, I don't have any desires. The only desire that I have is to have self-realization. I pray that you bless me with that. And Bhagavan said, sorry. Then again she repeated. Again she said. And then after 2 or 3 times she explored in different ways. And then she left the hall. Her duty is over. She left. As she left the hall, Bhagavan was almost suppressing his laughter. Then, as she left, he started almost rolling on the sofa, holding his belly. And all the people around him were sitting, the other devotees, they asked, why Bhagavan, why are you laughing like that? No, I'm hearing her request. He said, what is wrong with it? We all come here for that only. Is it seeking for self-realization is such a laughing matter or what? Then she said, no. She said that I don't need anything, I don't have any desires, and I want mukti only. If she doesn't need anything, what remains is mukti. What is that I am going to give her? Just think of it. How significant it is. So if anybody tells you that you should be free from all worldly desires, all your craving for sensual pleasures, and you have completely vexed and realized that all these things are ephemeral, then that is the qualification for you to be given mukti. There is one Telugu poet. He wrote beautifully. He was a yogi, great yogi, and who wrote very good poetry also, simple poetry. He says, Ihamu ledu paramu galadanu vaadi mata kalla mata. Ihamu means this world. If anybody tells you that there is nothing in this world is Maya, it's all false, and only there beyond something is transcendental, and we have to catch hold of it. You have to leave this and you have to catch hold of it. He's a thief, don't believe him. It's a kallamata, it's a false statement, don't believe him. The one, Ihamulona Param, the one who can show you in this world that the so-called transcendent reality, he is a real self.
So Guruji, you recommend no book, no shastra, no scripture, there's no required reading.
As long as that we need to do something. If at all that the love is triggered, or if we are not happy, there are 2 categories. In one category are the one that who haven't found their object of love, which triggers that spontaneous flow of love. Till then, he has to be reading the lives of saints. At least he will get an abstract idea of somebody, a concrete form which will trigger. And once it is triggered, then his reading should be about which is connected to his object of his love, which becomes an expression of his love, which nurtures his love. Just you are saying that I want to know about you more. I want to know about where you are born, where you are. These things. What is these things? Is it knowing something? Why you have to know all these things? It's an expression of your love. So at that stage, that reading. At this stage, this reading. But on the whole, if any required reading is, first preference should go to the lives. Lives, because they are the real things. Whatever my understanding of Ramana, I should base it on his life, how he live it. That is the idea. And it was actually that is so surprising that even Ramana recommended that term. One day, one devotee was sitting in his presence and reading some Vedantic work, some comment on Brahma Sutra or something. Then there was nobody, no persons in the hall. Western gentleman. Then Bhagavan, it was one of the very rare occasions where when Bhagavan spoke directly in English. Actually, he never used to speak in English, but very rarely. It was one of the occasions. Then he said, "What are you reading?" He asked. Then that man said that I am reading this comment. Bhagavan said, "Go to the library and read Milarepa." Milarepa means the life of Milarepa. Then just a year before, Srivas went, visited the ashram and presented him with a book of the biography that he has written, The Life of Milarepa. It was in the library, and he recommended go and read it. And to his close Indian devotees, all the books that he recommended were the lives of saints. And it was the lives of saints which influenced even Bhagavan, Periya Purana. What is Periya Purana? Doesn't contain any philosophy at all. It was the lives of 63 Saiva saints. Not Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, or the Upanishads that influenced Ramana. It was the lives. And that was what that he recommended. And even afterwards, that's one devotee asked, when Krishna is the author of the most authentic biography in Telugu, Ramana Leela. One day he asked Bhagavan, he told me that, Bhagavan, now we are enjoying your presence. It's okay now, but when you pass away, what would be our fate? Then he immediately said, why? The biography is there. అరే చరిత్ర ఉంది కదా. It's almost a subtle substitute to his presence. So again that he was referring to that. And that is one of the things that you are referring to renunciation also. I was talking about renunciation, that it should be something, by getting something positive, that but all drop, they call it renunciation. Ramana didn't renounce anything. He was gaining something. Buddha didn't renounce anything. He was trying to gain something. His mind is not in renounce. I should give up this, I should give up this, I should not talk about this, I should not look at this, I should not do that. The senses are the bane of my existence, and I have to suppress them, I have to kill them. He was absorbed in something else, trying to get and explore it more and more. As long as that is not there, the renunciation is not advised. Now Sadhguru will advise. Even if we feel that we are so much vexed with the world, this is another thing which, wonderful answer which Bhagavan has given. One day, one young gentleman came to Bhagavan and asked him, Bhagavan, I am vexed with all my worldly things. I don't have any interest in my worldly living at all. I don't have any interest in my job and getting married and all these things. I want to take to sannyas. If you give me permission, I take to sannyas. And Bhagavan said that, no, my boy, it is good that continue your studies and your job and get married. It's good. No, Bhagavan, I'm not interested in it. I don't have any, my mind is not going in the direction at all. I want to take sannyas. No, better you go back to your house and then do it. That's what fulfill your instruction of parents and get yourself married. That man was insisting, and Bhagavan was saying the same. That man, because in those days, not so many people, and he was very close. And he He got almost angry, that gentleman. What is that you are asking me? There is one law for you and one law for me. You have renounced everything. You left the house and you are living like a sannyasi here without getting married. And you are advising me to marry. What is that? One dharma for you and one dharma for me. Then Bhagavan said, when I left Madurai, I didn't ask anybody's permission. It was so imperative. There was no other choice. He had to leave. In fact, he was not leaving Madurai. If we have the necessity to ask the choice whether to leave or not to leave, better not. You are not fit. Why Buddha's renunciation? His love for that, to find out something, was such that it was so absorbing that he found it impossible by staying in the palace and exploring. So he wanted to set out. He left the house. Not that the house was something bad, evanescent, the pleasures and all these things. In order to drink some coffee, you go to the hotel there in the room. It's a need that you are renouncing the room in order to get something. A good breakfast in a hotel, that you go there. And when Ramana left his house, he said that he was not satisfied with the mundane pleasures, this life. The senses are, these pleasures which he is getting from the indriyas are evanescent.